There's an answer. The Slob 90X program. Just look at these results. In just 90 days, these 12 Slob 90X DVDs will put you on a program to weaken those bulbous shoulders and build a thick wall of fat around your midsection.
SLOB stands for slow, lazy, ordinary body. In just 90 days, I can help you become a computer nerd, a party animal, or just a plain old lovable slob.
Ronnie made me feel like more of a man than most women have ever made me feel.
Ronnie really makes you believe in yourself.
Ronnie's slogan is, do your best and then take a big rest. Done.
Hey everybody, welcome to Lunch Therapy Interview Friday. So good to see you all. I have a great guest today. He's the director of a film festival called Cinefest. It's in North Hollywood, California. Really great film festival, and I think you're really going to enjoy him. Plus we can find out like how this whole film festival thing works. If you're a filmmaker and you want to know like how do I get my film in one of these great film festivals, we're going to get the inside scoop here today. But first we're going to breathe. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Rumor is breathing is good for you. Let it go. We work on that premise here that breathing is good for you. I don't know. There might be some people out there that think, hey, I'm not going to breathe. Government's trying to make me breathe. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold my breath. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Hi, Loretta. Loretta's here. Let it go. We got a contest today, so that's cool. We're going to see if we can put Gustavo's knowledge of film to the limit here. So that is our guest, Gustavo Sampaio, here, and he's going to be here in a moment, I promise. One more breath, in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Last episode, let it go. Last episode, we were talking about those people that were being put into space by SpaceX, and I just wanted to just check back in to let you know that they did make it into space. They're up there floating around right now. This is the launch here, in case you missed it. I mean, it's amazing all the things that are going on in space right now. If this was, another time, we would have all seen this. But only some of us did. There are 4 people, 4 civilians on the top of a rocket going into space. I was really scared for them because, no humans have ever died in space. They only die on the takeoff or re-entry. I believe that's true. You can fact check that. I don't know. Maybe Boney can fact check that for me. All right, let's get on with the show. There are those 4 people. They're up in space. Wish them well on their re-entry. Let's get on with the show. It's Interview Friday. So, Interview Friday. Yeah, so last week we had Tom Kearney on. He was telling us about this great film festival in North Hollywood called the Cinefest. It's been running for quite a while, and there's the founder of it is here today to spend some time with us. He is somebody who, I'm going to let him tell his story, but he's started out editing, which is one of those things that makes for great filmmakers, is learning how to edit. Because if you start with editing, and I don't know, maybe he'll tell us this, but if you start with editing, then everything else kind of comes together because you know what you need to make the film. And anyway, let's talk to him about that. I'm not going to tell you about this stuff. Here we go. We're going to learn about filmmaking with Gustavo Sampaio. It's Interview Friday. I'm going to show you the Cinefest trailer, too.
From North Hollywood, California, in the heart of the world-famous NoHo Arts District, it's the 8th annual NoHo Cinefest Film Festival, showcasing more than 100 films in all genres for your viewing pleasure, featuring special guests and networking events. October 1st through the 7th at the Laemmle NoHo 7 Theaters.
All right. Very exciting. Very exciting to have you here, Gustavo. So great to have you. How are you doing today?
Doing very well, thanks.
Are you crazed? Are you crazed because you have you're I'm very glad to have you. Are you crazed because you've got this film festival happening in what, like a week?
It's only 2 weeks
Two
away
weeks?
now. Yeah, it's 2 weeks away, and it's definitely a lot of work going on right now for sure. But it's also a lot of fun, and I'm always very happy to do it. So.
Oh my gosh, I was looking at the lineup that you have there. You've got some really fun, interesting films. Some of them are very impactful on an activism kind of standpoint, and the other ones are just crazy lunacy that just looks like a blast.
Yeah.
I want to get into that. How did you? Well, first of all, you're a filmmaker. You're a producer of films, director of films, writer of films. How did you get into filmmaking? Where did you start out?
I mean, I've always wanted to do filmmaking since I was a teenager, and I started just working in television, all kinds of different things, sports and news and all that. But I taught myself to edit at one point years ago, and then I just kind of stuck with editing. Got into filmmaking, editing a few shorts, eventually features as well, and then just directing, producing a few other short films. I recently wrote a screenplay. I'm trying to go, try to make it into a feature film. But yeah, the festival is part of that whole growth and that whole process of wanting to, become a filmmaker and grow into filmmaking. Just 8 years ago, I decided that I wanted to have a film festival here in North Hollywood where I live. And there's a great theater here, the Laemmle NoHo 7, that we play in. And it's an artist community here, the North Hollywood area. So great locations to network.
That community is really growing, isn't it? It's really
it
becoming
really is, and it's
cultural.
Yeah, it's evolved a lot.
Mecca.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
sure.
over that. So how do you start a film festival? Like if somebody wanted to start a film
Yeah.
festival, how do they do it?
I mean, honestly, it all kind of depends on your vision for it. I wanted to start kind of with the basics of it. So the first thing I was looking for is just, where would I play it? Because there's certain film festivals that will just play in smaller studio type places. And I just really wanted it to be a movie theater. So being that there's this great movie theater here, the Laemmle NoHo 7, I contacted them, their special events people. And I actually ended up meeting with the owner, Greg Laemmle, who's the nephew of Carl Laemmle, who founded Universal Pictures. So his whole family has been, hugely involved in, film. And his theaters, the Laemmle theaters in North Hollywood or in Los Angeles, are well known for independent cinema and for art film and all that kind of stuff. So I knew that he would be a great person to work with, and he was very, very supportive from the beginning. Helped us kind of, make it affordable and feasible for us to start the festival. And then after, aside from that, it's about receiving films, which there's a platform that's very popular online called Film Freeway, which people will send their films through that. We review them, we score them, we analyze them, and then we pick them. And so we have a lot of short films, and every year the number of feature films kind of varies a little bit depending on on what comes to us, and
I
this
don't
year
know
in particular.
how do you do it? How do you wade through all those films? I don't understand. It must be a monumental task.
It is a monumental task, but I have a team of people who help me review them, and these are a variety of different kinds of people. In fact, some even from that are in other countries. But these are from anywhere from screenwriting professors through independent producers or even some casting directors or whatever. I mean, there's a variety of different people that are in different positions in filmmaking, international filmmakers, and then I just assign a number of films to different, and I try to cross them so that films get seen by more than one reviewer. And it's always a big task because we do have a roughly 9 to 10 month window of submissions, so they're not coming all at once. I mean, we
Yeah.
do have time to go through them, but the last month or so is pretty intense because that's when I'm deciding how to program the whole thing. And just because a film scored really high doesn't necessarily mean that it's an automatic, acceptance because I also have to take in consideration just a variety of different things. Whether it's different genres. Like if I have too many of one genre, then it becomes something that I want to be able to have a variety, right? So I always have to keep those things in mind, whether it's genre, whether it's diversity, whether it's all these different elements that are important because the fact is we get a lot of really high quality films. So I'm always really heartbroken when I have to
It's got to be
send out
hard.
those messages.
Yeah.
It's insanely hard, and I hate the word rejection, so I never say that I reject films. I just
Yeah.
am not able to select them.
Yeah.
And it's a softer way of saying it because the reality is that the competition is tough. And yes, absolutely, someone could say, "Well, that film is good. Why is it?" Yeah, it is good. Unfortunately, when we're playing a theater, we have a very set amount of time that we can play films, and so that determines how many we are able to select. And so it's always a really tricky thing to do. But
How do you
ultimately,
recommend?
it's
So,
very
if somebody's submitting to a film festival, what do you recommend they do to make sure that they get seen in the right light, and also that they have something that is, you know, that it has a really good chance of making it? Should they make a connection with somebody in the film festival? Should they get a movie star to recommend them? What are the things that like work? And also, oh, tell me that first, and then I'll ask you something else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I think that it's important. I think every filmmaker should ideally have a certain amount of, budget that they want to assign to submitting to festivals because it costs some money to submit and all that. And so, everybody's kind of like gut thing to do is just like, oh, send it to Sundance, send it to, Toronto, like all these giant festivals. And I get why they want to do that. But the fact is that those festivals usually they have a lot of relationships with publicists and managers and all kinds of people very high end of the industry. And so for independent filmmakers, it's very, very difficult to get into those festivals just by a submission alone. It
Yeah,
happens, but it's
yeah,
just not something very viable. So I would recommend for sure to look first, into your local community where you live. So if you're in Los Angeles, look for a handful of festivals that you feel like you'd really want to be a part of in Los Angeles, and prioritize those first because you and your crew and your cast are likely to be in that town, and so the festival knows that there could be a local presence immediately by your film that has some weight. The other thing is, the size of festivals, right? There's some that are going to be a little bit smaller, some are going to be a little bit larger, more difficult to get into. So if you have, a short film even, but like maybe there's maybe there is a star in your film, or maybe there's just a production value that's really a little bit, higher than you might normally see in films, or maybe it's something you just really truly believe in that you feel like can get into. Submit to them, write a cover letter. That's hugely important. I think a lot of filmmakers miss that. Always write a cover letter when you submit to the festival, and it doesn't have to be huge. In fact, it's better that it's not some gigantic letter because we don't have time to read through like all these different letters. What we want is essentially just a line or two just saying, hey, a friend of mine told me about your festival. I love that area. I'm familiar. I love the theater, blah, blah, blah. Like any little thing like that that makes it feel like you're truly connecting with the festival. And not just some formulaic kind of, copy and paste thing that you're going to be doing. It's short and sweet is really the key.
And personal.
And then, but again, like we don't expect to hear like this gigantic. We just want to have like that little note that makes it connects you. It makes you think about it. Makes you feel something that this filmmaker really cares.
Yeah.
And then like maybe a month or two, just follow up, just say, hey, still really excited, whatever. Maybe some filmmakers like to say if they've gotten into another festival. In our case, we don't really follow that much. Like I know that there's festivals that really care if you've won awards here, won awards there. I mean, for us, we try not to put attention on that too much because whether a film is played, 20 times or none at all, it shouldn't really affect on our decision, in my opinion. And that's how.
What about premieres? Do people have to save their premiere for you?
Not for me. I make it a point not to. And the reason I don't is because it only makes it harder for independent filmmakers to get seen when a festival requires a premiere status that is going to disqualify them from your event. And ultimately, if they have a great film and we feel like it's something that we want it to be a part of our festival, then we're going to show it, even if it's showing the week before at another festival, because it doesn't really matter for us. The fact is that not every friend of theirs or family member of theirs or whatever crew can attend every single screening that's available out there. So if they go to the one, then they may choose not to come to ours. But if the ones who couldn't make it to the other ones, maybe can make it to ours. And so we want the films to be seen. And there are festivals that will require premieres, even of shorts, which is something that's it's kind of rare, but there are a few that do that. And unfortunately, you have to keep that in mind. I've actually, over the years, we have had even short films pull out of our festival because a month later they were going to be in some bigger festival, and then they get scheduled in at Tuesday at 2 p.m. and nobody goes, and it's unfortunate, but that's how it is with certain events. So just be really mindful of those kind of choices. The fact that a festival is well known isn't necessarily going to be like something that's huge for your career. Because it's all about what you make of it, right? So if you participate and you're able to get a good screening and able to get a crowd to go see your film, that's going to be more valuable than if you have like a screening with a big festival that nobody sees or that a very small amount of people see. And that maybe this bigger festival is a little bit harder to kind of really integrate into because there's all kinds of people with status and VIP this and that, and then you don't really have that connection. You're just kind of this outsider. I know because I'm a filmmaker and I've been through those festivals, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do with our festival from the beginning is to make it feel like it owns the festival is really the filmmakers festival. I mean, I'm just organizing it. I'm just making it so that they have confidence in that the festival that I'm putting together is going to be something fun and professional, and that they won't be embarrassed about inviting their friends and family to go to, because all the films are wonderful. All the screenings are at a high quality in a big theater with a giant screen and a wonderful surround system. And then go into a networking location so that they can continue to talk and to connect. And every year, filmmakers that come to our festival, there's always a few that'll come together and make films for the following year.
Oh, yeah.
People who didn't know each other before, and then we're receiving those films. And it's really wonderful to see.
Well, that is one of the big benefits of film festivals for filmmakers, is you get to go and you meet all kinds of other filmmakers. Even if you're not in the festival, you go to these social events and things like that, and you can meet so many people. It's like camp, especially if you're from out of town. It's just a great way. I know my wife and I, we've met a lot of long-term friendships and business partners through film festivals. So yeah, you're providing a great service. Olga here. Kalishnikova. Yay, Gustavo. We are super happy their film was selected. We're looking forward to the NoHo Cinefest opening night. Woo! That's so
Thank
cool.
you, Olga.
And
yeah, she's been really wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's so great, the kind of community that you can come up with here. And the films just look fantastic. I have to say, Howard Aronin says they call it NoHo because there's no hope of street parking. It's his joke.
He's not wrong. There are plenty of spaces on the street, but yeah he's right. I mean, it's tricky.
But the subway goes there, right?
Yes, and there is a really nice garage close to the theater that the theater validates for, so it's not difficult to park if you're coming for the festival. It's just you have to know where the garage is, and that's one of the things that I always, make sure everybody knows.
We have a listener, a viewer from Belgium here, Sven. He says, my son was recently involved in a film festival with a left-wing touch. He pushed Guilty by Suspicion and Free State of Jones through. Interested in your opinion. I don't know if you've seen these films. Have you seen them at all?
No,
I'm not either.
Familiar with it. Yeah.
There's a little plug for those films.
Yeah.
Do you talk to other film festivals about what's good out there? Do you have any kind of conferences or meetings or Zoom calls?
There's not really there's a couple of alliances here and there and that kind of thing, and there's some Facebook groups that I'll peek into. I am friends with a couple of other directors of film festivals in the Los Angeles area, and I have contacted others just in a general way. And I think it's every director is going to have their vision and there's how they want to put their festival forward. But yeah, we try to have our identity and stick with that, and every year we have a good time. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there a market for short films out there? Do people buy short films, or is it really just a calling card?
There technically is. In fact, in Europe, they actually have a market for short films. In fact, and Palm Springs also does too. To be honest with you, Palm Springs, I think the Palm Springs International Shorts Festival does a market for short films, and there are markets for airplanes in Europe because the flights are so short. They don't have enough time to show a full movie, so they have short films. And there's some other things online and and all that. I mean, apps on smart TVs now will also have those. But it's not something that you're going to expect to make a whole lot of money on. Most short films still cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and you're never going to make anywhere near that with a market of short films. It really is more of a calling card and a way for you to learn and grow. So
super cool. I want to take a look, if we can, at just some of the movies. There's a page here that has the feature films on it, and I just wanted to ask you a few questions about them. Obviously, they're in competition. This one here looks quite interesting. I believe. First of all, it's Juliet Landau, who was in. Yeah. I don't know if I can show these trailers here, but yeah, she was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, as well as, and her dad is Martin Landau, I believe, right? Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Let me see.
Oh yeah, there's some big names in this.
There's some big names in this thing. Gary Oldman is in it.
Yeah, it's a really different kind of film. And that's one of the things that I really love is seeing the different approaches to filmmaking, and we love filmmakers who have the courage to take a risk in doing something that's original and something that they truly believe in, and so. And it was extremely well done. She directed it, and she did an amazing job with it. It's
called A Place Among the Dead. Place Among the Dead.
Yeah.
Seems cool.
Yeah.
So there's all these feature films. This one, Destination Marfa, looks really cool as well. It's a sci-fi movie, right?
Film. Yeah. It has a little bit of an 80s throwback to it as well. It's really cool.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to play the trailers because it's too difficult. But
it's
to talk and play trailers. But and probably, I don't know, they probably have music and things that I can't play. So this one's also interesting. It's a documentary about people traveling out in the world. And
Yeah,
I love to travel, but these are like young people, and it's also an investigation, I guess, into the millennial generation or thereabouts,
yeah, it's
right?
exactly it. It's a bunch of it's a documentary of exploring like the millennial mindset of traveling, and they're not as concerned about buying houses and having all these things. They just want to have experiences. So this film goes to like everybody everywhere you can think of in the world, and the imagery is absolutely breathtaking and beautiful and
Sounds great.
amazing. And the interviews are great. You know, people from all over the world, not just American travelers, but other travelers from everywhere in the world. And it's interesting to see how there is this common mentality globally within the millennial, you know, age group.
I think that'd be great because also millennials sometimes get a bad rap. I don't know, you know what I mean? And I think it'd be good to really take a look at like, what their thoughts are. It seems like a character study as well. So
It's
that's
great.
really cool.
It's really fun to watch. It's really fun to watch. Yeah.
And then this one down east seems to take place in like Maine or something, right? Where they have lobsters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's got that northeast feel to it for sure.
This looks really
You
well
know,
shot and really well acted. It seemed. I watched a little bit of
yeah,
the trailer. It's
yeah. The
impactful.
director's Joe Raffa. He's very very skilled director and really always does amazing films like with this type of genre, this dramatic kind of action, not action, but there's just
Seems like
you
it's
know,
kind of a
yeah,
It says thriller. Yeah,
yeah,
there it is right there.
yeah, yeah. It
We'll
is.
just go through a few of these. I mean, maybe we'll go through all of them. I don't know. But Dying for Control, this looks hilarious. It's like this
Yep.
lady who lives in the Pacific Palisades doesn't want to give up her house. And she's just
Yeah.
like trying to control everybody.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a mockumentary.
Is it?
So you know, it's kind of like you know, it feels like a documentary, but it's all kind of
Love those.
purposely created in this fictional narrative, and it's just a tongue-in-cheek kind of exploration of
This actress just seems
of
great. I can't wait. I want to see this movie. It
she's
looks really
great. She does a lot of these kind of films. She's really really good. Yeah.
good. Jeez. Father of Flies. What's this one about? It's
Yeah.
from the UK. Horror movie.
Yeah, well, the director is from the UK. Some of his actors are here in LA. Actually, they're attending the festival. They shot it up in New York, in upstate New York, in this really beautiful, spooky house. And it's a thriller. It's a horror. I get it's called it's they're considering it a horror. It's definitely that kind of like that thriller horror,
Yeah.
psychological type of thing. It's hard to talk too much about it without giving some stuff
Yeah.
away. But basically, there's some family situations that kind of like play into a very dark occurrence, and so it goes into this scary kind of vibe. And it does have a little bit of a feel of like an older 80s or 90s horror film as well, like just in the style of, of that era. But it's beautifully shot. The cast is phenomenal. And
Looks
if,
great.
for any fans of horrors or thrillers, definitely one to check out. It's brand new. So
Do you try
I
to
have-
get people from all over the world in this festival as an international type film festival? Does that part play into the
Oh, yeah.
criteria if you choose?
Yeah, we have films from Japan, from Lebanon, from the UK, from Canada, from Australia, from Brazil, from I'm sure there's plenty others from Europe, Russia. Yeah, so we definitely between the shorts and features, of course, but we definitely try to bring that because the way that the people make films in other countries sometimes has such a different feel to it and kind of visual to it that it's just really cool to see.
What would you say is the most important thing about a film, about choosing a film? Like the most important aspect of it?
I mean, I always say every single year, the story and performance are the two main things, right? So if the story is well written, well crafted, and the performance of the actors are high, all of the actors, by the way, because if you have one great performance, one actor who's doing a great performance, and some of the other ones are kind of, the whole film just falls apart. So you
Yeah.
really need the story and the performance to be there. And then, of course, these days it's much cheaper than it used to be to have great equipment and all that. So the production value naturally tends to be pretty decent these days. But the story and performances are key.
How important is it to have any kind of a movie star in your movie? Does that matter?
I think for the feature films, it'll help them get distribution later in terms of making money back and that kind of thing. But for the festival, it's always nice. Of course, it's nice to have some celebrity show up, and that usually attracts some media to the festival, which then shines light on everybody else, which is really what I'm most focused on. In 2019, we had Billy Zane come out, and it was a lot of fun, and he showed up a bunch of times, and the media covered a little bit of, and that helped everybody else. So we were
It always
really
helps
grateful for him.
bring in the people, bring in the media at least,
Yeah.
which is super
Yeah,
important.
the media, yeah, exactly. But I mean, ultimately, we just want great films, and for people to enjoy them.
This one looks hilarious. Kringle Time.
Very
It's
funny.
like a children's show.
Yeah.
Snowman guy. This
Yeah,
one I really want to see. This is right up my alley.
Oh, the trailer's hilarious as
Yeah.
well, so people can.
Everybody
check
should
that
go
out.
check out these
Great.
trailers because
Yeah.
they look
Yeah,
really good.
and for anybody who does check them out, if you click on the poster, it'll take you to the ticket purchasing page for whoever wants to attend these films. They can see when it is and the tickets and all that.
It's really cool. All right,
Yeah.
I might as well show the rest of these. This is also an animated feature. I didn't know you had animated features in this.
It's a Japanese anime. It's a full-length Japanese anime.
Wow.
They're actually going to be coming to LA. They already have a very large following here in Los Angeles. It's the third film in this sequence of films that they're calling the Laws of the Universe. So it's really, really amazing, beautiful film. The director is a very skilled and experienced guy, and we're just really proud to have this film.
We have a question from the audience. Is there a way to watch them on Zoom? Is there any kind of internet component this year?
Yeah, unfortunately, we did that last year, and unfortunately, especially for feature films, it's really tricky because the distributors that pick up these feature films don't like the internet option because it makes it too easy to pirate the films and to copy them and to steal them. So short films are less worried about it, but unfortunately, we're not going to do that. The whole hybrid thing, we prefer to do it in person. And these days, most of these feature films within a few months will definitely be picked up, and they'll be available on Amazon and Hulu and all these other platforms that are out there for sure. This Our Little Secret is absolutely beautiful story. Will really tug at your heart, and it's a exploration of the child's point of view on 9/11 and the days following that.
Would you say this is a movie for kids too?
Yeah,
Do you have?
absolutely. It's certainly appropriate for kids as well. It's something definitely a film that will really tug at your heart, and you'll really
Yuri
enjoy.
Zeltser.
Yeah,
Aware of
yeah,
that
very
filmmaker,
very
yeah.
talented director.
Yeah, very talented.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is about sex trafficking, surviving
Yeah,
sex
this is a
trafficking. This must be
documentary, and
intense.
yeah, it's a second film that they do on this. The director Sadali Shri has had her first film with us in the past, and this is her second one, which is even it's really really well done. And of course, it's hard to hear some of these stories and all that, but ultimately it is very moving and inspiring in the way of calling to action. And I think it's an important film to have out there.
Oh yeah,
I
people have
think
to know
people-
about this. That's going on. It's just horrible, right under
Yeah.
our noses.
Yeah,
There's a
and it's
lot.
100 times worse than anything you see in movies.
Yeah.
So like you would never understand.
I think this is a
until you
very
see this.
important film. People should go see that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last one we have here on this list is called Woman of the House. This is about a woman who's sleeping with the not the pool boy, the lifeguard. On the East
Yeah.
Coast, it's lifeguard. On the West Coast, it's pool boy or something.
Yeah, she's taking control of her life, that kind of thing. It's really well done. It's a beautiful film, written and directed by Michelle Salcedo, who was with us last year as well with another film, and it's actually we're premiering. It's a world premiere at our festival. The cast will be in attendance as well, so it's a lot of fun whenever there is a premiere, especially because you always have this great, initial energy to it. And I just lost my headphone once.
Did you? Hey, well, we're
Sorry
getting
about that.
we're out of the movies now, and we're gonna move on to the contest
Yeah.
because we got to get the contest in. So let's get in there. This has been super helpful, Gustavo. I want to say before we get into the contest because things could get crazy. But this has been
Yeah.
super helpful for filmmakers. Also gets me excited about these films because it looks like some cool stuff. I am in one of the films, not the feature films, but I'm in one of the short films. But I'm not going to, plug it here because I don't want to act like I'm playing favorites.
Very cool.
So we're going to get into the contest now. Here we go. This is a contest, and I'll explain it when I get there. Here we go. I want to say, Kamala here says, Gustavo, this is excellent and important information. It is. It's very important.
Thank you. Yeah.
The cover letter was a big takeaway. Yeah. Any kind of information that filmmakers can get about these things, because, it's just like being an actor. You're just like, well, I don't know what happened. I didn't get in.
Remember that we're all human beings on the other side receiving this film, and so we like to feel like, you're communicating with us. And that,
that's good, because we don't know. We don't know. We're
Right.
like, are they going to think that I'm being a jerk, or they think I'm too pushy or too eager or whatever it is,
No.
So it's good to know that kind of stuff. All right, so this is the thing here. It doesn't look like my chat box is working. Oh yeah, it's working. So we have Chuck said yes up there. So up above you is where the chat is, where people can guess. Over on the right is the scoreboard. This is called Who Wasn't in That Movie. So we're not going to guess who was in the movie. We're going to guess who wasn't. And you get a list of names. So I show you the poster. And then a list of names will be alongside. And then you have to tell me who wasn't in the movie. So here we go. Oh, I got to move this already. I don't know if this is going to work. There we go. That's not bad. All right. Who wasn't in Pulp Fiction?
Amanda Plummer.
Amanda Plummer. Okay, so now we're going to... Any guesses from the chat room? They're a little delayed, so here we go.
Okay.
If we get any guesses. So I'm going to start whittling them away. Amanda Plummer is your guess. And they're disappearing. These are the people who are in the movie. And, okay, it's between Michael Madsen and Amanda Plummer, and it's Michael Madsen.
Oh, I forgot.
He wasn't
You're
in the
right.
movie. All right, well, nobody gets points on that one. I don't know if I gave the hummingbirds enough time on that one.
It's
But
because
anyway.
he's in every single other film.
I know. Well, that's why I put him there.
You're right. He's in Reservoir Dogs, and I forgot.
See, I thought about this.
Yeah.
So, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, jeez. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Wow. I guess I gotta go with Michael Douglas. But
Hey, Michael Douglas. All right. If anybody's in the chat room, they can weigh in on who is not in this movie. Okay. Michael Douglas is staying. Let's see. Christopher Lloyd, of course. The chat room says Christopher Lloyd. Yes, Christopher Lloyd was. Angelica Houston was in it, but just for a moment. I think maybe they were, I don't know, they might have been dating or something, but she was just in it for a second. And it's Michael Douglas. Yeah, good call. Michael Douglas actually, do you know what he did on the movie, though? He produced it.
No.
He produced the movie.
Okay.
In fact, Michael Douglas's dad, Kirk Douglas, was really mad that he didn't get the lead role. It's a classic story. Okay, Training Day. Training Day. So Denzel Washington, Tom Berenger, Tommy Lee Jones, Ava Mendes, Snoop Dogg, Scott Glenn, Ethan Hawke. One of these people was not in the movie. All right, I'm starting to... Well, that was
Snoop Dogg,
obvious.
I guess.
Snoop Dogg?
It's been a long time
It's a
since
tough
I've
one.
seen it. And
It's
I can't
definitely
remember.
a tough one. Okay, now it's
Yeah.
between these. So Snoop Dogg's still there. Still there. Oh! Snoop Dogg was in the movie.
Okay.
Tommy
So
Lee
it's probably-
Jones.
Okay, yeah. All
It's
right.
a tough one.
Ah.
Howard's guess. No, I don't mean to stress you out. This is just fun.
No, it's all good. I know.
All right, so here's the next one. They're not getting them in the chat room either. Okay, so Swingers. Did you see this movie, Swingers? This is a classic.
Yeah, a long time ago.
cult
but
film.
Like,
So what do you think about that one?
I'm thinking Ron Livingston.
Ron Livingston. Okay, good guess. He's a fantastic actor.
He is.
Very
Big
possible
fan,
to
but
be in Swingers, and very possible he wasn't in it. Let's see if anybody. Oh, we got
Might have been Matt
Kamala
Damon.
Lopez seems to say Matt Damon. So there we go.
Yeah, she's probably right. She's probably
let's see.
right. Now
It's
that I
between
think
Ron
about it.
Livingston and Matt Damon, and the answer is, drum roll please. Answer is Matt Damon.
Okay, she wins. No, she's
She wins.
It's because it's that whole crowd of Massachusetts and all that. I always
Yeah.
get confused.
Howard Aronin said Houston. I'm not sure. Oh, Danny Houston. Oh, Angelica Houston. He's probably like behind.
Yeah, right.
People-
It's all good.
People are way behind, but that's okay. Here's another one, Hustle and Flow. Another film festival favorite. It's 1-1, the score. And
Unfortunately, I don't think I saw this.
okay.
But I mean, I'll just take a shot.
Okay. I'm playing music.
I'll say
Just-
Taryn Manning.
okay. Taryn Manning was not in the movie. All right, let's see.
That's my guess.
And oh, she's
Oh,
gone.
she was. Yeah.
And it's
So-
between Anthony Anderson. And it is. Oh, Kamala says Rashida Jones was not in that movie. She got it
She got
again.
it,
So
right.
Hummingbird's got
Kamala
another one.
knows what she's talking about.
She knows
She's
it.
beating me.
All right, so let's see about this one. All right, Squid and the Whale. Did you see this
Squid
one?
and the Whale.
If you haven't seen it, it's
I
classic.
think I did. I
Classic
think I did,
film.
but it was a long time ago as well. Or when it came
Yeah.
out, I guess.
You know what? I'm a little old, so some of these.
No, it's okay. I mean,
No, it's fine.
I guess.
So yeah, this is one of my favorite movies, I must say. Squid and the Whale. If you haven't seen it, super good
It's a little
movie.
bit of a shot in the dark for me, so
So yeah, give it a
I'll
shot.
say
There's some actors in the picture there, so you could eliminate maybe one of them there. If
Yeah,
you
it's hard
if
for
you
me
know
to
the back of his head.
yeah. I don't know. I'll say Anna Paquin.
Okay, Anna Paquin. Good guess. Let's see. And this is very dramatic.
The first one's out.
Yeah.
I know. I gotta watch it again. You're right, Kamala.
Pamela says either Billy Baldwin or Frances McDermott. And that look
Yeah.
at I crafted
I
this
was
in
gonna
such a
say
way
Billy Baldwin,
where you'd be
but
like, which
I was
one is it? Yeah. Tom Kearney is here. He has a movie in the film festival. Yeah. Thanks to Tom Kearney also for hooking me up with Gustavo here today. And the answer is, drum roll, please. Frances McDormand. She was not in Squid and the Whale, but it seems like she could have been. She would have been really good in that movie. Memento, this is one of my favorite indie
Yeah.
films.
Yeah. Wow. Again, like I gotta rewatch all this stuff.
These are hard. These are hard. I only know the answers because I made the quiz.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Gary Oldman is in your film festival. I don't know if Carrie Ann Moss is going to be in there. Stephen Tobolowsky was a guest on my show. Joey Pants, Joe Pantoliano is a fantastic actor, and Guy Pearce, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
People are guessing from way back. I think I've got this show really delayed today. Normally it's like a little delayed, but today, because we've got some
Right.
guesses. Gary Oldman is not in Memento. Okay, we've got one guess from the Hummingbirds. Do you have a guess?
Yeah,
Gustavo?
I agree with Gary Oldman. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. And Gary Oldman. All right, you both
that
get
was-
points.
All
Both get
right.
points on
Still
that
losing.
Still losing. Okay, here's one. I got to move my head out of the way. Boogie Nights, classic film from one of my favorite filmmakers, Paul Thomas Anderson. That says Alfred Molina down at the bottom there. There's a lot of a lot of great people in this one.
I would say Alfred Molina
Okay.
because I think I remember everybody else, but I'm maybe
Let's see.
Marissa Tomei. But
Let's
I
see.
think
It's a
so.
good guess. I made this tricky. on purpose.
Yeah, very
It's
tricky.
tough. Yeah. And let's see if anybody else is guessing. Oh, Marissa Tomei is not in Boogie Nights. This is Kamala again. She's
Okay.
on it. She's on
So
it.
yeah, she's
She's
or
on it.
either
Yeah, so it is
Googling.
Marissa Tomei.
Are you googling?
Yeah, she's googling. No, I'm sure she's not.
No, she really. I'm
She's
sure
good.
she knows her stuff.
She knows her stuff. Okay.
Yeah, no, I remember Burt being in.
This is one of my and Alfred Molina in Boogie Nights played this guy in a robe, and he was like on drugs or something. He's some kind of drug dealer or something like that. I think I remember. Tom Kearney said Burt Reynolds, one of his great parts actually. Go back and watch it. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Julie Keaton is here. Julie Keaton in the house. She was going to say Marissa, so she got that right too. Okay, so it's 3-2, and this might be the last one. So the pressure is really on.
Tom Wilkinson. I mean, it's been again like it's.
Yeah.
I just basically remember Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet as obviously.
So I one thing that I find interesting here in this list is there are two people from Mr. Show. I don't know if you ever saw Mr. Show, but that was with David Cross and Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so Howard Aronin says Tom says he doesn't remember David Cross in this film. That's a good point.
Yeah, maybe.
But let's see. It's down. Oh, he was in it. And Tom Wilkinson was as well. Oh, Bob Odenkirk is the one who wasn't in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I don't think anybody got that one.
Yeah.
All right. This has been brought to you by Crepe Race. Looks like the Hummingbirds have won again. Of course, they've got them outnumbered. And
oh, good.
That was fantastic. All right. So this has been brought to you by the product Crepe Race. And let's get on with the thing. Okay. Thank you so much for being a great sport and doing the contest today because it's a big crowd pleaser.
Thank you.
And tell us, okay, so I've got the poster for NoHo here. October 1st through the 7th, go to nohocinefest.com. And we're going to see some new movies, get some new trivia. We definitely know a film that Gary Oldman is in. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm going to let you go. Yep. This has been super fun and super informative. If you have one on Fat-Free Film, we used to say at the end of the show, we gave a film bite, which is a little piece of advice to filmmakers. If you have anything like that for us to leave the show, a film bite, let me know.
Just I guess like just stay motivated, stay inspired, and look for inspiration in others and in films, because ultimately that's how you'll find your voice, and that's how you'll find your best story to tell, and and I hope to see your film one day.
Yeah, that's great. This is one Kamala Lopez. I'm cheating now. Now I'm getting my film bite from the audience. She says, always shoot stills on your set, which is a very good thing. People don't realize it, but after you make the movie, you need these like high resolution stills. And it's always good to have.
Like with GoPro cameras these days, it's always worth it to have someone kind of shooting the behind the scenes. It's really easy, and you'll really enjoy being able to have that in the future.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, because people when they finish a film, they need to market it. And a lot of us don't think about that until it's too late.
Emma's very right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Gustavo, this is great. Thanks a lot for being here. And,
thanks,
you're welcome on the show anytime. And it's been great meeting you. All right. See you later.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, that was fun. I think I made that contest too hard. And my wife got a lot of the answers because, she and I like the same movies. So let's face it. Fun. Yeah, Howard, it's great having you here today. I'm glad to see Julie Keaton here, one of my favorite people in the entire world, and also Tom Kearney with the Burt. He came late. He probably didn't even know what the rules were. Old Kearney. So behind me are some yaks for your enjoyment, for your personal enjoyment. This has been a super fun show. I've got a dance break. It's something we talked about, last week. Chumbawamba, tub thumping. I found somebody. They're a fantastic band. They're called Endless Summer Band, and they're doing a lockdown version of Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping. So this is a little inspirational thing for you. Here we go. It's comical too. This is very cool. All right. Let's get this thing going.
We'll be singing when we're winning. We'll be singing. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. It's in the night away.
Great song.
It's in the night away. He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good time, sings the songs that remind him of the better time.
Thanks everybody for being on the show today and playing the game. Thank you, Gustavo, for being a good sport, and also for giving us all kinds of information about film festivals, because we need it. We need it out here. We need all the help we can get. And go see the NoHo Cinefest, October 1st through 7th. These guys are cool. Are these people? That's some steampunk.
He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good times, sings the songs that remind him of the better times.
I like the way she has all these costumes. All right, this has been Interview Friday. We'll see you on Tuesday. We're going to have an incredible Albert from Slob 90X, Albert Monero. You've seen him on commercials, you've seen him on television, you've seen him everywhere, and you'll see him in more places as well, and you'll see him here. So we'll see you all later. This has been Lunch Therapy, Interview Friday.